Hello there and welcome. You know, there's this old Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. There's a similar saying, and I think it was created by Abraham Lincoln. I mean, that's at least what ChatGPT told me, that the best time to start a podcast was 10 years ago. The second best time is don't. But in case you're thinking of starting one, YouTube has a big announcement for you this week. Podcasts are a go. Want to know what all that means? Well, this is 5 minutes of what you need to lead in marketing. Let's roll. Hello everybody, Robert Rose here with the news. It is what's new, but more importantly, you know, it's what's important in the world of marketing. And for the best and best practices, you can head on over to contentmarketinginstitute.com. Now, if you thought we were going to be talking this week about AI for the 90th time in a row, you'd be mistaken, even though last week was a chock-a-block filled with Microsoft introducing Copilot, OpenAI launching ChatGPT-4, and the Copyright Office launching a whole initiative to examine copyright law for AI-created works. But you know, there's other stuff going on here too. Buried in all of that news and tweeted out last week by Team YouTube was the fact that podcasts are a go, meaning that there are new features in the YouTube Studio desktop that let you create a podcast and actually manage an existing playlist as a podcast, and of course measure your performance. So if you've been waiting until there was, well, an easy way to create a podcast, I don't know what you've been waiting for. It's been pretty darn easy to do that. But the YouTube announcement was one that has been expected for some time. It was almost a year ago when they first started talking about the idea of moving into the podcast space and making moves that would directly integrate them into the Creator Studio. Now, before you get too excited about this might be the most underwhelming new product launch that I've seen in some time. I mean, basically, as the very helpful instructional video describes, YouTube podcasts are playlists. So basically, if you or your team can create a playlist on YouTube, you can create a podcast. Now, because it's even hard to say this without literally cringing a little bit, it is only a tag. I mean, you're basically assigning your playlist with a tag that you call podcast. So why on earth would you want to do this? Well, according to YouTube, you'll get featured in podcast-specific searches. You might get featured on the homepage for the YouTube podcast. You might get badges, videos on your podcast will also, of course, be available on YouTube Music. I'm not really sure what took them a year to develop here, but if you're looking at an enhanced way to promote your existing podcast, or if you're really familiar with YouTube and think about creating one, well, you've got, this new thing, I guess. Now, it is a must-do for most podcast owners because YouTube will provide a level of reach here, so I think it's a smart thing to do because it is so easy. But what's our take here at CMI about podcasting? Well, if your business is thinking about creating one, you might be swayed lately by thinking that podcasting is kind of well saturated. I mean, there's just so much noise out there, so many podcasts, you might get discouraged. But our take is that while there's been a general slowdown in advertising revenue and sponsorship revenue because of this saturation and because of the general uneasiness of the economy, the audience for podcasts has never been bigger or more eager for great content. So if you've got a great idea for content and you're thinking podcasts might be the answer, well, it's an incredible way to develop and maintain relationships with your audiences. But I'll add one caveat, or maybe it's a piece of advice, maybe two pieces of advice. The first is you really got to commit to it. Recent research found that of the millions of podcasts that are out there, 26% of them have only a single episode. That's amazing. Almost 2/3 of them, 66%, have 3 or fewer episodes. People don't commit to them. Podcasts are work and they take time to build an audience. So if you can't come up with 12 ideas for episodes and put together a commitment for at least 6 months to a year, I wouldn't do it. Second is, I don't think podcasts are necessarily the best way to build an audience. Think of them as a way to develop closer relationships to your existing subscribers or existing audiences. Now, you will add people and people will become introduced to your thinking via podcast, but most of the value from podcasts will be from people who know you a little and will come to know you a lot. Now, does that mean that podcasts are a great customer loyalty play? If I were you, that's where I'd start for sure. But, you do you, even if that means using YouTube to do it. Well, that's it. That's 5 minutes of what's new that hopefully you can use to lead your marketing strategy. I'm Robert Rose, and remember, it's your story to tell. Tell it well. I'll see you next week.